Well, hello, dear viewers. It is Wednesday. So, firstly, well done to Amber Grace Sinner 87, Amber Grace NA 87. Anyway, her down there, because she was the first one to guess that the painting I did was from Death from Above. Well done. I'm well chuffed that so many of you guessed it. You are all uber cool people as a result. To be honest, I hadn't given this week much thought, as it being an open topic. I was drifting off to sleep last night and I started thinking, as you know, that weird limbo state between you're not really sleeping but you're not awake and your mind is just flashing images and weird things, and it's like a really weird place, isn't it? It's really strange. And this random memory from my childhood popped into my head. And I thought about this morning when I woke up about this memory, and then I just started thinking about all these weird and wonderful games that I used to play with myself when I was a child, and how I used to keep myself entertained for hours just in my own head, and how you pretty much lose that when you get older. I think, you know, kids are naturally just so inventive and imaginative, and you know, they can, well, some kids, I don't know about today, they've got so many distractions with TV and bloody Xboxes and PS3s and that kind of stuff, but generally you just lose that. And I think for me it was a conscious effort. You know, I thought to myself, I think I was about 12, 13, and I said to myself, listen Martine, you've really got to stop playing these games with yourself. You're getting older now. And I sort of it was a real conscious effort. I never ever outgrew playing these weird games. And there must be some other people who used to do the crazy stuff I used to do. And please, I'm really interested, if you had weird and wonderful little games that you used to entertain yourself with as a child, please let me know, because I just find it so awesome that you can do that kind of stuff as a child. I mean, there was this one game I used to play. Now, I wasn't a lonely child, I wasn't an only child. You know, my mum had a school, like an aftercare, where she used to pick up kids after school, look after little young kids in the mornings, pick up the older kids after school, and look after them. And so, I mean, I always had loads of kids around me, loads of friends, you know. I never went back from school to an empty house, so it wasn't like I was this weird little lonely child that had no friends, that had to keep herself company. It was just that a lot of the time I preferred my own company. So I've got a few examples to explain to you, things I used to do as a kid. Sorry if this is going to be highly boring. Hopefully some of you will be like, oh wow, yeah, I used to do something similar, and that, well, we can all wish, that's what I'm hoping for. Everything to me had a personality. I mean, in the bath, you know, all the shampoo bottles used to be the people, and I used to make little adventures up, and, you know, my mum's... Sorry. Hello? Yeah. I'm just trying to do my video at the moment. And my mum's dressing room table, you know, all the perfume bottles used to be little characters, and I used to play for hours with them. And one of the weirder things I used to do as a child was I used to love drawing from a young age. So I had a big box of pencils, and I used to meticulously pick out all the pencils, sharpen them until they were their sharpest, and had them snapped off, perfectly sharp. And I used to lay every pencil out in order of size from smallest to biggest. And I had so many pencils that by the time I'd lay it, this used to take me hours. And it had to be right, you know. I used to sit there like this, making sure that that pencil was definitely taller. And these pencils used to go on for ages, and it used to drive my mum insane. Pick up these pencils, because one time my sister came running into the room and she just slid. That was quite funny. And my main goal when I was a child, I wanted to be a witch. I wanted to be this mysterious witch that knew everything, and, you know, was just scary and mysterious. That's all I wanted to be, and lived on her own with her cats. And one of my favourite things to do was I used to mix sand and water in a big jar, bucket, whatever I could find, to make mud. And then I used to go searching in the garden for any kinds of twigs, leaves, any rotting fruit. I used to just mix it all into this mud and make like this big, it was my cauldron, and I was making potion. I'd make this potion, and then I used to meticulously walk through the garden, checking all the trees if they had any like sort of cuts, or if any of the plants were like broken, and I used to take the mud and nicely put it over any cuts or sores that the plants had to heal them. And yeah, to go around the whole garden and everything. Oh gosh, anything I could spot that needed, I was the plant healer. I used to go heal the plants with my salve of mud and whatever else I could find. But you know, I used to entertain myself for hours playing I mean, there's so much more I could tell you. I could go on and on, but I used to entertain myself for hours just playing random games with whatever I had at the time. You know, if I only had pencils, they would be my little characters. Do you know what? And just so in my own head it was on. You know, if I wasn't out in the garden playing some weird game or helping the plants give birth, oh my gosh, there was this, we called it a delicious monster plant. I don't know what the Latin name for it is, but it's like this big sort of tropical plant that's looks like it should belong in the mangroves. It's got these big roots that go on the ground and these big leaves, and they used to produce these like corn cobs. They weren't corn, but it was just these weird things. And when the new leaves unfurled, sometimes they used to get like hooked, and I used to help the plant give birth, and the plant used to be a character as well. And I used to anyway, so I'm going off on one now, but I mean, I'm tending to say it's a shame that you lose that kind of innocent fun. But as I say, you would be considered mad if I was, you know, walking around with a bucket of mud trying to heal all the plants and talking to the plants and them talking back at me. People would be a bit... But it's cute in a kid. You see a little kid doing that, oh, bless it, look what it's doing. So I don't think you ever really lose that. I just think social conditioning sort of weans you out of it in a way. As I said, it was a conscious effort. I didn't grow out of doing weird games like that. I just decided one day that I really can't do this anymore. You know, I've just started high school. I was getting too old to do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's all I wanted to talk about this week. But you know, I really want to hear what you guys have to say. You know, what kind of crap you got up to as a kid. I just find it so interesting and so weird going back. And anyway, so two truths and a lie. Number 1, I hate raw egg. Number 2, I have watched every episode of Friends at least 25 times each. And number 3, I have never been in love. Oh, and Rescue Rider, you did an absolutely awesome job this Sunday. Really, really good. So keep sending, everyone else keeps sending your video responses, and yeah, could be you next. Anyway, enjoy Jen and Chris tomorrow, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Love you.